I'm assuming you've done something out of the box to clear that, but since, yeah.
Well, this is what I believe in, and this is what I pursue.
So branding, marketing, of course, is an important thing, and Mr. Kothari, just coming to you for that, because Mr. Choksi mentioned about SEEPs here. You have done wonderfully there. How are you looking at that? Because we started on a very high note onto that one. For the last couple of years or more than that, we haven't really seen a very strong number come out of that area too.
Yeah, that's true. I think SEEPs had, so to say, it's golden or diamond period. It's about 15 to 20 years back and lost a little bit of sheen. And let's look at fundamentally what is our competitive advantage. So I'm going to, like we've seen the 4 C's of diamonds, we all know color, clarity, cut, carat. I want to bring in the 3 C's of progress. And in my opinion, Rita ji in the morning, the Commerce Secretary, said it very well. The first C would be a common facilitation center, and I'd like to elaborate on that, what it would mean. Second, collaboration and speed, and the third, compliance. So first, let me just start with the common facilitation center. In today's environment in SEEPs, say if there are 120 companies in SEEPs as an instance, and if there are 12 processes in manufacturing, every company is expected to have every process in-house, right? I'd like to draw an analogy to say that, you're buying a bus for 4 passengers, right? And needless to say, not only do you buy the bus, you eventually get a driver, you get the insurance and the fuel. So if you do buy the bus, you're priced out because you're not using it to the potential. And on the other hand, if you don't buy it, you're losing out on certain quality, certain innovation, certain advantages. So my perspective is that it's expensive machinery in so many sectors, limited expertise. So you buy a bus, you need to know how to drive it. So limited expertise, limited knowledge on best practices of worldwide manufacturing. So within our industry and, like Mr. Bhargav said, outside our industry, very important to adapt them. And with all of this, you end up with a high cost, average quality for people who don't buy that bus, and inability to work on your core strengths. So my perspective is that if, and I will just describe a little bit later what an ideal CFC in my mind would be. It's important that we facilitate a common facility center not only for machines, for expertise, we also encourage co-ownership. So to the extent that I would go and say that in today's time, instead of a bus for 4 passengers, you don't even need to get a car, you just need to Uber it, right? So we typically need to Uber our services out to as much as we need them. We need it for 1 hour a day, that's it, right? That would bring a lot of competitiveness, a lot of experience from different experienced players in the value chain. I think for people who are already at a certain level, co-ownership is also an excellent option if we don't want to simply outsource that. Our expectations from the government would be to help set up this CFC to the extent that you get the space, probably partial funding on the machinery, some innovation, getting the right technical experts around, and pretty much making India the center of conferences, symposiums, and basically the intellectual property around. Now, I'd like to touch on the second aspect, which is the collaboration and the speed. I think today more than ever we know it, it's not about big companies and small companies. It's the quick companies or the dead, I may say, right? So, while in the diamond industry a lot has been discussed about mines to market, I would, on the jewelry front of the business, I'd like to talk about mind to market, from your mind to the market. How quickly are we getting an idea that we conceptualize in the jewelry business in front of the consumer? Unfortunately, very slow today. So, for larger retailers, it may take as much as 6 months. And my perspective is that it should take equal number of weeks, 6 weeks rather, or less. There's so many technologies, if we collaborate. So we're sitting in probably the only industry in India which has such a large share of the world industry, which is the diamond industry. So there are brothers on one side. We have tremendous heritage on the gold, tremendous expertise on the gold. And on the other side, we have the IT industry, also a premier industry of India. Why are we not collaborating? When we say collaborate, within the CFC, we need to have a section which is only dedicated to IT and how we can quickly bring things to the world. In today's time, through 3D modeling and other aspects, you can actually bring a product to life without even making it. So you're just getting dimensionally, you do your focus groups, just increase the speed of the hit ratio to the consumer. So need to be really quick to get that. And third, from my perspective, is compliance. And when I say compliance, I am not talking about the banking or that sort of compliance. I'm talking purely on the issue, and I'm going to talk a little bit on the diamond side, which bothers the diamond industries the most, is ensuring that the consumer